Hi. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how ToolShop sorts shapes into internal and outside shapes. We liken this to a family relationship. We call internal shapes, which become holes the child shapes. We often refer to the external shape as the parent shape. Here we're going to use the flange that we drew in the previous tutorial to demonstrate. Notice that if we select one of the holes, it is easy to move it independently. This could be a problem if the hole was accidentally moved, because the flange would be cut incorrectly. I'm going to use the Ctrl-Z key combination to undo the move. The other issue is that ToolShop needs to know which is an outside or parent shape so that it can cut around the outside with an offset to leave the correct size flange. ToolShop also needs to cut inside the holes with the correct offset to ensure the holes are the correct dimension. To sort the shapes into parent and children shapes, we simply select all the shapes belonging to the flange. Then we go to the Transform menu and choose Combine. This can also be activated with the Ctrl-L key combination. You may remember this as L for linking the shapes. Notice that the internal or child shapes will turn red, while the outside parent shape has turned blue. The flange has now been combined into a single part. Notice that you can no longer select one of the holes independently. Selecting any of the lines in the part will select the whole part. A combined part can then be tool-pathed correctly, and the tool paths will be on the correct sides of the lines. If you desire lead-ins at the pierce or entry points, then these will also be placed on the correct sides of the lines. The opposite function to combine is the break-apart function. If you use this function on a selected part with a parent and children, it will separate them into individual shapes again. This is useful if you want to say, move a hole, or edit a path in any way. It is useful to know that the combine function is quite intelligent and can be used with multiple parts at once. It will correctly combine the parent and children shapes into multiple parts. Allow me to demonstrate. Remember that we just used the break-apart function on the flange, so it is really just 6 individual shapes at this stage. You can tell because all shapes are blue when selected, meaning they're all external shapes at this point in time. For the exercise, I want to manually make several copies of the flange. First, I will select the 6 shapes and make a copy by holding down the Control key while dragging the center node. Notice the small plus symbol beside the mouse pointer that shows you're making a copy using the Control key. I'm going to repeat this again. So now I have 3 copies of the flange, but it is really just 18 individual shapes that are not linked together in any way. I can freely move any of them, which would mess up that flange. By selecting all the shapes and either pressing Ctrl-L or by clicking the Combine tool on the Transform toolbar, ToolShop will automatically sort all the shapes into the correct family relationships, with external parent shapes being blue and the internal child shapes being red. You can now safely select and move any of the parts without fear of dislocating any of the child shapes. Once you understand the Combine function, it will be much easier to draw parts. Combine is also a fundamental function that is used when opening drawings from other CAD programs. We will discuss opening CAD files and tool pathing in the following tutorials.